Okay, let's see what people are saying about the latest IDW comic. I feel compelled to speak. Note to self, look into getting my own theme song. But yes, with the release of The Revenge of Everfree Part 1, there's been some debate about the comic and the quality of Katie Cook's writing. Now, I stand by my criticism of The Good, the Bad, and the Ponies, and when Part 2 of The Revenge of Everfree comes out, there will be ample material to discuss. Yet there's an important difference between criticizing the writing and criticizing the writer. Cook is the author who brought us The Return of Queen Chrysalis, followed by the Rarity microcomic, Big Macintosh's journey in Zen and the Art of Gazebo Repair, Cadence and Shining Armor's history in Nay Anything, The Fall of Sunset Shimmer, Princess Luna's Micro, the highly controversial Reflections arc, Applejack and Rarity's run in Friends Forever number 8, The Good, the Bad, and the Ponies, and in addition to the conclusion of The Revenge of Everfree, we can expect to see more of her work in April with Fiendship is Magic's history on Queen Chrysalis, thereby coming full circle. I'll tell you right now, half these titles rank amongst my favorites. But what about the ones that didn't work? The stories that were underwhelming, confusing, or self-defeating? Looking at it chronologically, I can see why people would think Cook has lost the charm that first snagged readers. After all, the more notorious comics are also recently released arcs. Yet there's something I want us all to consider before calling it done. I, like many, was thrilled by the return of Queen Chrysalis as the first story arc for this comic line. It had humor, a quest, some surprisingly dark moments, and there are few sights more awesome than Avatar State Twilight Sparkle. Yet this comic enjoys a special status, since we had nothing for comparison. Do me a favor, if you still have a copy of this 4-parter on hand, please give it another read. Go ahead, I'll wait. Did you enjoy it? I still do. And yet, there are still some things worth noting. For starters, the comic begins with a massive contrivance. Changelings stink at impersonations. Their sole gimmick, and they can't get the eyes right or act like ponies. The second issue features the main 6 abandoning one another in the middle of unknown territory without a map, all because of a spat. The Cutie Mark Crusaders are flanderized for the sake of comedic commentary, even though their lives are at stake. And at the story's climax, Twilight is ready to throw in the towel until Chrysalis admits that she's going to hurt Twilight's friends regardless. Seriously, has anyone talked to Chrysalis about these self-sabotaging tendencies? Okie dokie. Good luck, Doc. I'm still charging a finder's fee. What I'm trying to get at here is that there were weaknesses in Cook's storytelling from the start, yet I think we were more forgiving way back than we are 2 years later. And I hear you saying, but Silver, you hysterical hybrid. Didn't you say Cook's works were some of your favorites? Indeed they are, and I notice a trend amongst my favorites. When I consider the comics I enjoy the most, very few of them feature a villain, or at least an antagonist who presents a genuine threat. Usually, the protagonists are pursuing a goal despite bizarre circumstances, or they're surrounded by well-meaning but inept support. Anyone who's in direct opposition isn't taken seriously, they're more a backdrop to the humor. I don't think Katie Cook's writing or storytelling skills have decreased. Instead, I think her skills are being put towards the wrong goal. When it's a small cast and a character-driven story, she shines and creates some of the most memorable tales in the franchise, helped in no small part by Andy Price's artwork. Yet when the story features a larger cast with higher stakes, her tendency to go for the joke becomes self-defeating. The characters become flanderized and, in turn, less enjoyable. Or an event happens for the sake of the plot and undermines the story itself. I think Cook's at her best with comedic slice-of-life stories, for which I'm glad because that's my favorite kind of story in MLP. And of course, my opinion is fandom law. Yeah, I didn't buy it either. So please let me know by answering me these questions 3. What's your favorite story in the IDW comics? If you had to choose, would you rather read a slice-of-life story or a conflict adventure story? If you had a choice to tag a different writer for the next 4-part story, who would it be? I'm Silver-Quill. Thanks for watching. Whoa, what the hey, people? Seriously, the hey is this? I know the sight of my hippogriff machismo might drive some to flights of fancy to set your passions ablaze, but there might be kids watching this thing. What scandal? What imagery? What a convenient distraction from the fact that I can't think of an outro song. Seriously, I need musical assistance. Help a super smexy hippogriff out here, folks. If you know a musician who I could commission for a theme song, please let me know in the comments. Too smexy for my snock, too smexy for my snock, so smexy a farce.